Kunja Bihari. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Pachatya Desatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, श्रीताई गौर सुंदर की, पतित पावन श्रीप्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी. Studying from Granth Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5th, entitled as The Creative Impetus, text number 1 onwards, chapter number 1, entitled as The Activities of Maharaj Privrata. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We'll chant text 1. Rajo vacha priyavato bhagavata atma rama katham mune grihe aramata yan mulaha karma bandha parabhava. Rajo vacha प्रियव्रतो भागवत आत्मा राम कथम मुने गृह अर्मता जन्मूला कर्म बंध पराभव. राजो वाच प्रियव्रतो भागवता आत्मा राम कथम मुने गृहे अर्मत यन्मूला कर्म बंध पराभव. राजो वाच प्रियव्रतो भागवत आत्मा राम कथम मुने गे अर्मता यन्मूला कर्म बंध पराभव. राजो वाच Word for word meaning. Raja Uvacha. King Parikshit said, Priyavrata, King Priyavrata, Bhagavata, the great devotee, Atma Arama, who takes pleasure in self-realization. Katham, why, Mune, O great sage, Grihe, at home, Aramata, enjoyed, Yat Mula, having which as a root cause, Karma Bandha, the bondage of fruitive activities, Parabhava, the defeat of one's human mission. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. King Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, O great sage, why did King Priyavata, who was a great self-realized devotee of the Lord, remain in household life, which is the root cause of bondage of karma, fruitive activities, and which defeats the missions of human life? Once again, King Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, O great sage, why did King Priyavrata, who was a great self-realized devotee of the Lord, remain in household life, which the root cause of the bondage of karma, fruitive activities, and which defeats the mission of human life? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The fourth canto, Srila Sukadeva Goswami explained that Narada Muni perfectly instructed King Priyavata about the mission of human life. The mission of human life is to realize oneself and then gradually to go back home, back to Godhead. Since Narada Muni instructed the king fully on this subject, why did he again enter household life, which is the main cause of material bondage? Maharaj Parikshit was greatly astonished that King Priyavata remained in household life, especially since he was not only a self-realized soul but also a first-class devotee of the Lord. A devotee actually has no attraction for household life, but surprisingly King Priyavata enjoyed household life very much. One may argue, why is it wrong to enjoy household life? The reply is that in household life one becomes bound by the results of fruitive activities. The essence of household life is the sense enjoyment, and as long as one engrosses his mind in working hard for sense enjoyment, one becomes bound by the reactions of fruitive activities. This ignorance of self-realization is the greatest defeat in human life. The human form of life is especially meant for getting out of the bondage of fruitive activities, but as long as one is forgetful of his life's mission and acts like an ordinary animal, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, he must continue his conditioned life of material existence. Such a life is called Swarupa Vismriti, forgetfulness of one's real constitutional position. Therefore, in Vedic civilization, one is trained in the very beginning of life as brahmachari. A brahmachari must execute austerities and refrain from sex indulgence. Therefore, if one is completely trained in the principles of brahmacharya, he generally does not enter household life. He is then called a Naistika brahmachari, which indicates total celibacy. King Parikshit was thus astonished that great King Priyavrata, although trained in the principle of Naistika brahmacharya, entered household life. The words Bhagavata Atma Rama is very significant in this verse. If one is self-realized as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is called Bhagavata Atma Ramaha. There are different types of satisfaction. Karmis satisfied in their fruitive activities, Jnanis are satisfied to merge into the effulgence of Brahman, and devotees are satisfied to enter in the Lord's service. The Lord is self-satisfied because he is fully opulent, and one who is satisfied by serving him is called Bhagavat Atma Ramaha. Manushyanam Sahastresu, out of many thousands of persons who may endeavor for liberation, and out of many thousands of persons attempting to become liberated, one may achieve liberation from the anxieties of material existence and become self-satisfied. Even that satisfaction, however, is not the ultimate satisfaction. The Jnanis and the Karmis have desires as to do the yogis, but devotees have no desires. Satisfaction in the service of the Lord is called akama, freedom from desire, and this is the ultimate satisfaction. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit inquired, how could one who has fully satisfied on the highest platform be satisfied with family life? Question mark. The word parabhava in this verse is also significant. When one is satisfied in family life, he is doomed because he must already have forgotten his relationship with the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj describes how the activities of family life implicates one more and more. Atma patam griham andakupam. Household life is like a dark well. If one falls into this well, his spiritual death is assured. How Priyavata Maharaj remained a liberated Paramhamsa even within family life is described in the next verse. Om Tat Sat. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram. We'll read the summary of this chapter also. The activities of Maharaj Privrata. This chapter describes how King Privrata enjoyed royal opulence and majesty and then returned to full knowledge. King Privrata was detached from worldly opulence and then he became attached to his kingdom. But finally he again became detached from material enjoyment and thus achieved liberation. When King Parikshit heard about this, he was struck with wonder. But he was somewhat bewildered as to how a devotee with no attachment for material enjoyment could later become attached to it. Thus, in astonishment, he questioned Sukadeva Goswami about this. In response to King's inquiry, Sukadeva Goswami said that devotional service, being transcendental, cannot be deviated by any material influences. Privrata had received transcendental knowledge from the instructions of Narada, and therefore he did not want to enter a materialistic life of enjoyment in the kingdom. He accepted the kingdom, however, at the request of such superior demigods as Lord Brahma and Lord Indra, the King of Heaven. Everything is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, and everyone must work accordingly. Just as a bull is controlled by the rope tied to its nose, so all conditioned souls are forced to work under the spell of modes of nature. A civilized man therefore works according to the instructions of Varna and Ashrama. Even in the materialistic life, however, no one is free to act. Everyone is compelled to accept a certain type of body offered by the Supreme Lord and thus be allotted different grades of happiness and distress. Therefore, even if one artificially leaves home and goes to the forest, he again becomes attached to the materialistic life. Family life is compared to a fortress for practicing sense control. When the senses are controlled, one may live either at home or in the forest, there is no difference. When Maharaj Privrata, following the instructions of Lord Brahma, accepted the royal throne, his father Manu left home for the forest. Maharaj Privrata then married Barhismati, the daughter of the Vishwakarma. In the womb of Brihaspati, he begot 10 sons named Agnidhara, Idamajiva, Yajnabahu, Mahavir, Hiranyireta, Grihatsprestha, Savana, Medhantiti, Vitihotra, and Kavi. He also begot one daughter, and whose name was Urjvati. Maharaj Priyavata lived with with his wife and family for many thousands of years. The impression from the rims of Maharaj Priyavata's chariot wheels created 7 oceans and 7 islands. Of the 10 sons of Priyavata, 3 sons named Kavi, Mahavira, and Savana accepted sannyasa, the fourth order of life, and then remaining 7 sons became the rulers of the 7 islands. Maharaj Priyavata also had a second wife, in whom he begot 3 sons named Uttama, Raivata, and Tamasa. All of them were elevated to the post of Manu. Sukadeva Goswami thus described how Maharaj Priyavata achieved liberation. See that how Parikshit Maharaj is so inquisitive. There are 4 varna and 4 asrama: Grihastha, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. So, at 25 years age, in Vedic periods, everybody has to practice celibacy. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasan Gurum Hito Danto. It's mentioned that Brahmachari stays at the Gurukula and controls his senses, engages himself completely as a menial servant of the spiritual master. In this way, he makes spiritual progress. So this is a student's life. That's how one receives knowledge, Vedic knowledge. One has to submit to the spiritual master. Then the knowledge is actually transmitted. So, like this system was there. The people were trained till 25 years, and then after 25 years, if they have desires to get married, they were allowed to enter in Grihastha ashram, otherwise they continue Brahmachari. And then, since they were trained, they are focused in their mission of human form of life, which is go back to Godhead, make themselves free from cycle of birth and death. So, they will quickly get dissatisfied from their family affairs, and then they leave it to focus more on their spiritual life. They take Vanaprastha, and then they take sannyasa, and then then they go back to Godhead. So this was the Vedic system, Varnashrama institution. So here we can see one person is 25 years and he has some material desires for sense gratification. He is given permission by the spiritual master to enter into Grihastha ashrama. But here we see Priyavata Maharaj was not like that. Priyavata Maharaj was self-realized soul. And also it is mentioned he was a very great devotee, Mahabhagavata. How is that? First of all, he was following Naistika Brahmachari and he left his mind, his decisions to get married. Okay, he got married. Then how come he remained in the household life a very long time? Seems like he's attached to the household life. How is this possible? So something very astonishing. Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring to find out, to delve deeper into this subject matter. Similarly, we see that Parikshit Maharaj was very inquisitive. That how after 1 year, all the friends Gopas, they were talking about killing Agasura. till 1 year, why there was no talk about this? So in this way, with this, is full absorbed in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and is asking all these deeper aspects. And we see that after this, Sukadeva Goswami, he explains that Brahma Vimohan Leela, and so many of tattvas are clarified in that. That how Krishna is the Sammam Bonam, he is the absolute truth. All the other forms of the Lord are expanding from him. He is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here, in this chapter also we see that the glories of Priyavrata Maharaj will be more and more described. So we know in Bhagavad Gita says that Deino yasmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehanta praptir dhirastatana muhyati. So this is a very famous verse saying that we grow, actually not grow, we change. We change from boyhood to youth to old age. Similarly, at time of death, we change from one type of body to another type of body. This is called Sansara Chakra, cycle of birth and death. The problem with this cycle of birth and death is, whenever we take birth, whenever we take body, we have to suffer. Janma, Mityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosanudarsanam. Birth, death, old age and disease. Is all big source of suffering. Disease, we all experience. Old age, devotees, they are experiencing the old age. By Kali Yuga, it is fast forwarding. 58, earlier 58 was now 48, they are saying. And then slowly it will further fast forward. Earlier people will become old at 70 years. Then it became like 60 years. And now they become 45, 50 years itself, the old age is taking over. So old age, so much suffering, birth and death, we already know all these things. So the human form of life is to mean to solve this problem. Krishna is telling that person who is self-realized, dhira, is not bewildered by such a change. Why he is not bewildered? Because person who is self-realized, there are three different destinations. Person self-realized either will enter into Brahma Jyoti if he is on impersonal understanding, or he will enter into the Vaikuntha. He will go back to Godhead. So these two destinations is there. He will be engaged in service of the Lord. So the self-realized soul, he is not bewildered by such a change. This is explained here, that Priyavrata Maharaj, he was such a great devotee. Either he is in household life or he is in renounced order. He is always focused in his meditation on Lord Shri Krishna. Grihe tako, bane tako, sada hari bole dako. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling, either we stay at house or we stay in the forest or in the ashram, brahmachari ashram, or in whichever ashram, the goal or focus should be to always chant the holy name of Lord Hari. So since Priyavrata Maharaj was already a Mahabhagavata, so already he was situated on that platform. And for him it was possible. When he was in Brahmachari ashram also, he was completely meditating on Lord Shri Krishna. When he was in married ashram also, he was completely meditating on Krishna. And he got, after that he renounced Again he was fixed in Krishna consciousness. That's possible by pure devotee Mahabhagavata. And it is very difficult for a common man to understand how is this possible. Because always as a conditioned soul we tend to see things as we perceive. We are thinking, okay, I am like this, so everybody else is like that. But here, maybe everybody else may be like that, but pure devotees are different. So therefore it is said that very difficult to understand the activities of pure devotees. We can see this example that how in Chaitanya Charitamrita we know that if pure devotee he was having a hookah, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Mukunda, Baldev Vidya, Baldev as to Chila Pundrik Vidyanidhi. So he was lying on the nice cushion silk bed, and so palanquin, and so many servants were carrying, and he was having a hookah. And then he was Gadadhar Pandit, he was especially sent by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to meet him. And after seeing him, he got completely bewildered that where he actually got a wrong address, or I didn't hear properly. Then we know that how Mukunda Prabhu he chants this song, Srimad Bhagavatam sloka, that how much Krishna is merciful, that even Putana came poisoning her breast and feeding milk to Krishna, but Krishna gave her position as a mother in the spiritual world. So who else I should take shelter of? Like that, this sloka is there. Then Sri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Sri Prahlad Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki, Sintai Gau Sundar ki jai, Patit Pawan Prabhupada ki jai. After hearing this, suddenly whole thing changed, completely upside down. All the Ashta Sattvic Vikara manifested in his body, and he was not able to control himself, and he fell down from the palanquin and started rolling on the floor, and all these things, and people think what happened suddenly, how this change happened. So is this change, how this change happens all of a sudden? We can just reflect on this. Actually this doesn't happens all of a sudden, that he heard this and he remembered Krishna. Actually they are already remembering Krishna in their subconscious stage or conscious stage. They are always in the Krishna conscious platform, fully on Krishna conscious platform. As soon as there is some impetus, it gets manifested. It's like this another pastime we know that Narad Muni is thinking, what is so great in Arjuna, and that Krishna is giving so much attention to him. He is there always with him. So since he was there, it was there in his mind like this. Then he was walking, and then he found after some while Arjuna is sleeping, having his head in the lap of Krishna, and Krishna is patting, and he got more bewildered. Then he wanted to go and ask this, then Lord Krishna stops him. Should not disturb him, otherwise he will wake up. Then Krishna, because he is Antaryami, he understands the mind of Narad Muni. Then he calls him and then asks him to put his ear near his hand or one part of the body. And Narad Muni, for surprise, he sees that all his hair particles also vibrating and chanting the holy name of Lord. Narad Muni actually was able to hear this sound vibration. and he was completely surprised that each and every hair particles of Arjuna is actually doing Sankirtan. They are all chanting. There's so much um, unison, that so much of conscious. Similarly, we know these pastimes in I forgot the name. There's a great devotee in Maharashtra, and he actually passed away, and in a there was a house. Inside the house he passed away, and then only house remnants was there. Everything got damaged, and then later we were searching where is the devotee. Then it was found that in this place only he may be there. His remnants may be there, and then who? Pundalika. So then they went there to search, and they found their bones. Also, some bones are moving and vibrating, and there is a name Vittala is coming from there. They understood this is the actually bones of Pundalik. I guess we see. So they are always in that consciousness, and therefore get little impetus, immediately their transformation takes place. Otherwise, it's not that by doing this they are reminded of Krishna. Not like that. They are always in that consciousness. For a normal person, we have to force to think of Krishna. But then gopis, when Krishna is advising that no, you are all suffering, you should not be like this, you should remember Krishna. When you remember Krishna, you can experience that happiness from inside. And Krishna suggests them, then gopis, they say, no, that is not our problem. Our problem is we don't want to remember him, but we are not able to forget him. That is our problem. So that is the stage. You see that Priyavrata Maharaj was on that stage, Mahabhagavata. And therefore, even though he stayed in the household life and stayed for a very long time, and externally seems that he is enjoying household life, but he is already situated on the spiritual platform. That we cannot misunderstand. This is only possible by great devotees, like Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is being asked that you should drink the halahal poison. That halahal poison is very, it's like potassium cyanide. Nobody knows the taste of potassium cyanide. You know why? As soon as it touches the body, a small fraction, immediately person dies. Goes under tongue, small fraction, a person dies. So nobody is there to tell whether it was salty or sweet. And actually, this halahal would have been millions and million times more poisonous than this potassium cyanide. But this Lord Shiva, what he did? He didn't swallow. He is taking and he is drinking, he did not swallow. He is keeping here in the neck. That people will not understand that he did not take inside. That he can drink this and he can keep in his neck. It will never fall below that. And therefore his neck also becomes blue. Lord Shiva's neck, then he is called Nilakantha. Actually this all qualities glorifies their character. So what is possible for Lord Shiva, it is never possible for an ordinary jiva. Like that, Srila Haridas Thakur, he is chanting all the time. 24 hours he is chanting. And when we think, he is also born in Kali Yuga, we also born in Kali Yuga, he is chanting 24 hours, we can also chant 24 hours. And then we try to go and imitate Srila Haridas Thakur, then that 16 rounds also will give it up. We will get into some different kind of illusion. Okay, so we can always, we can follow in the footsteps, but we can never imitate them. Following in the footsteps means following their instructions. They are following the instructions is actually good for our life. We cannot see example of Privrata Maharaj Joshi. He's enjoyed the household life, so he can continue like that. There is possibility is there, but that's not the possibility. What we have to do is, even we are in whichever situation, whichever ashrama is there, we should be focused on the spiritual goal. We should nicely follow the 4 regulatory principles. Nicely we should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we should have to strike the balance between sadhana, seva, swasthya, sadachara, all these things we have to strike the balance. Therefore we need actually association, devotees help. Then only it is possible. So this chapter we see the glories of Privrata Maharaj, that how he was able to do all these things. Like how we know the glories of Pundrik Vidyanidhi and Lord Shiva. So by understanding this, actually our attractions towards devotional service is increased. The process of bhakti, the attraction towards that, it is increased. It's a very nice chapter. So Prabhupada is explained here, he is explained about is saying here that out of thousands person, one may endeavor for liberation, and many thousands of persons attempting to become liberated, one may be satisfied. Even that satisfaction, however, is not the ultimate satisfaction. The Jnanis and Karmis have desires. So, as do the yogis, but devotees have no desire. Satisfaction in the service of the Lord is called akama. So, being free from desires. Free from desires means desiring only to serve Krishna. That's what is actually our aim, that our desires get transformed from the sense gratification to the service of the Lord, both grossly and subtly. And therefore we do both. We engage ourselves in service of the Lord, follow discipline, rules and regulations, and also we pray to Krishna. Constantly we pray Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So actually it's mentioned that desires are so strong, especially the desires which are there in our subtle body, very difficult to give it up. This desire is so strong, we can understand that takes the soul from one body to another body, one type of body to another type of body. The present body is the proof that we had this desire in the past. We can see there are so many varieties of life. In each and every soul had this desire for particular type of enjoyment, and therefore you got this type of body. And within that body, we are suffering and enjoying because of our karma bandha. So here in this verse we can see especially about karma bandha is stressed, saying that King Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, O great sage, why did King Privrata, who was a great self-realized devotee of the Lord, remain in household life? Household life, which is the root cause of bondage of karma, of fruitive activities, and which defeats the mission of human life. So the household life, it says that, is the root cause of bondage of karma. So there is a difference between devotees live in the house and karmis live in the house. Now devotees, they are living in the house, their purpose is to serve Krishna. And when karmis, they living in their house, their purpose is sense gratification. So when the purpose is to serve Krishna, actually living in the house is like it's like a serpent whose teeth is broken. So it's not dangerous as karmis stay in their house. So in staying in the house and everybody is engaged in service of the Lord, then it is a favorable atmosphere. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Grihe Tako, Bane Tako, Sada Hari Bole Dako. Wherever we stay, we should be engaged in the chanting the holy name of the Lord. So that should be our focus. The family life should not be taken as an platform or excuse for having a little sense gratification. Then because little sense gratification becomes more, and then our focus is lost. So should be very careful. If we do anything apart from satisfying Krishna, that will become cause of our bondage. More than happiness will give us suffering. So one should be very, very careful. In living in this material world, one should be very, very careful. And therefore, one remains in the guidance of a devotee. When we are under the guidance of devotee, we are safe. Because there's so much strong desires are there inside heart. It can carry anyone away from Krishna consciousness. So devotees association actually protects oneself. For Priyavrata Maharaj, we will see it was not like that. He was already pure devotee of the Lord. And then he will leave from there. But certainly for conditioned souls, we have to stay in the association, follow four regulatory principles, all the things. We should be very careful. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Patit Pavansh Prabhupada ki jai.